All right, so here we go on straight away to step number 11. And for 11, we need to change the H1 font color and set the font size. So let's get that done nice and quickly. So we're going to select our H1. For our H1, we're going to say color, and the color is going to be equal to hashtag F1BE32 semicolon to close off that attribute. And then we're going to say the font size. And our font size is going to be minimum of 5 times the vertical width. 5 times the vertical width. 5 times vertical weight. And then comma 1.2 EM. Okay, comma 1.2 EM. And let's see if that has worked. No, min 5 VW 1.2 EM. What have I done wrong? The H1 should have a font size minimum 5 VW. Oh, I put a period instead of a comma, you see? All these little things. There we go. So that's step number 11 done. Now, step number 12. For step number 12, enable navigation on the page, add an unordered list with the following 3 items. Okay, so unordered lists, do you remember them? It's the UL tag, and we're going to close it off so we don't forget later. And inside, we need to have LI. Inside the LI, the first one is going to be info. Close our LI for list item. Copy that. Copy that and paste it down here. The second one is going to be HTML. And the third one is going to be CSS. Okay, so now we should have our unordered list. But no, we have a problem. Add an unordered list with the following. They should all have anchor tags. Okay, so A, and then close our A. And we're gonna do that to all of them. So copy this, paste, paste, and then copy our closing anchor tag, copy, paste, and finally paste again. And now it should be okay. And no! Oh, I see what I've done wrong here. This should not be there. It should be here. And now, there we go. Wow, it seems like every video I start, I make some mistakes straight away, some very simple ones. But there we go. Step number 13. Target the unordered list elements within nav elements and use flexbox to evenly space the children. All right, so they're testing my knowledge here. So we need to target nav UL LI, and then we need to display and flex. Nav. Oh, I need to put the angled bracket to select it properly, and it shouldn't be LI. It should be UL. Okay. There we go. No, justify content space evenly. Justify. So I think I don't need the display flex, right? Okay, so justify content colon space evenly, comma. Okay, so let's see if that's going to work for us now. We do need the display flex, so just all around mistakes here, but there you go. That's the fun of it, and then we can slowly learn. And we have finally passed step number 13. There we go. 14. Because this is a quiz, you will need a form for users to submit answers. You can semantically separate the content within the form using section. Within the main element, create a form with 3 nested section elements. And then make the form submit to, and the link there, using the correct method. Okay, so trying to remember all the stuff that we've learned now. So inside the main, we need, first of all, we need a form, and we need to close our form. Okay, so that's our first step. Inside each form, we need 3 sections. Section and close section. We need 3 of them, so 1, 2, 3. And the form needs to submit to this link. Okay, so let's go to W3 Schools again. W3 Schools. Okay, and let's search form target, I think. Form target. The target attribute specifies where to display target. Okay, so target equals, okay, that's target. No, we don't want target. We want the form action. Form action, maybe. Where to send the form data. So usually form action equals URL. Okay, cool. So here for the form, we're going to say action equals, get our inverted commas, grab this link, copy and paste, and now we should be okay. Method. Oh, and the method needs to be post, of course. Method equals post, like so. And now we have finished step number 14. There we go. Step number 15. To increase the page accessibility, role attribute can indicate the purpose behind an element on the page to assistive technologies. The role attribute is part of the Web Accessibility Initiative, WAI, and accepts preset values. Give each section the element region role. Okay, so it's a role attribute. I've never used this before in my life, but there you go. That just goes to show most of the web is woefully under catering for people who have special needs, and this stuff is really important. So role equals region. We want to do that for each section. Copy. Yes, we do. So paste. And back here, space and paste and check. And there we go. Role equals region. Each region role requires a label, which can help on-screen readers understand the purpose of the region. One method for adding a label is to add a heading element inside the region and then reference it with the ARIA label by attribute. Add the following ARIA label by attributes to the section elements. Okay, so each of the section elements. So we want to say ARIA labeled by equals, and the first one is going to be student-info. Okay, now let's grab that because I don't want to type that so many times. We'll paste it down here and we'll paste it down here. Okay, first one is student info. The second one is going to be HTML-questions. And the last one is going to be CSS questions. CSS questions. Okay. Then within each section element, nest one H2 with an ID matching the corresponding attribute. Give each H2 suitable content. So inside each section, we want a H2. The ID has to be student-info for the first one. Okay, and I'm going to say student-info, then close my H2 like so. And let's grab that and copy it. And let's paste it into the second one. The second one is not going to be student info. The second one is going to be HTML questions. And we'll give that the text HTML questions. And then the third one is going to be pasted here. And it's going to be CSS questions. CSS questions. And we're going to call that, put the text in there as well. CSS, all caps, questions. Okay. Wow, that was a bit of a mouthful. So what did we do first? We put the area labeled by attribute and gave them each their own attribute. And then inside that section, we put a H2 element and gave it the ID that matched the area labeled by attribute. And so, yes, we have indeed passed that one. And so we can move on now to step number 17. Typeface plays an important role in the accessibility of a page. Some fonts are easier to read than others, and this is especially true on low-resolution screens. Change font for H1 and H2 elements to Verdana and use another website font in the sans serif family as a fallback. Okay, so for H1 and H2, we're going to say font-family, and we're going to say Verdana, comma, sans serif. So it should start with the Verdana font. Okay, wait a second, we have a problem here. Should use a H2 element selector to target the H2 elements. I thought I had targeted them. H1, H2, like this. No, you should use a multiple. Yes, multiple. Okay, so back to CSS schools. CSS multiple selector. Let's see what we got here. Combinators. Okay, so we want to, yeah, just space, right? No, that's descendant, child, adjacent, general. Elements that are siblings, all CSS combo, the elements inside div elements. Okay, so no, that's not what we want. CSS select multiple elements. Okay, let's try this. No, that's not what we're looking for either. Okay, so H1 and H2, maybe. Okay, wait a second here. Let's just select H2 and we can see that changes. Okay, H1, H2. How? Okay, so let's go straight to Google. How to select multiple elements in CSS. Okay. All the elements are in style. Put a comma in between each one. That's what I thought. That's what I'm doing. Like this, right? Let's see. Comma. Yeah, so it should be just put the comma in there. H2, comma, H1. Oh, did I have a period? No. Use a H2 element selector to target the H2 elements. I just select H1. Now copy this. Go down and paste. And here we're going to put H2. You should use multiple element selector. Okay. Let's go back here. So I do need to do it all in one selector. H1, comma, H2. Yeah, space shouldn't be there. No. Okay, H1, H2. 2. Let's get help. No, okay. I don't want to ask for help. Yeah, you can see them here. Okay, so let's go back here. How to use multiple elements. Okay, you don't need the other elements. The only one is .c. Oh, this is a big part of the process. Multiple elements inside a div. Universals. We don't want to do that. They're using commas. Why can't I use comma? Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, let's see here. Basic CSS, multiple selector, no space. Is that the secret? There should be no space. Check. No. Yeah, this guy's doing it. H1P section footer font size. Am I doing something else wrong? Does not pass. Don't give up. Should use an H2 element selector to target the H2. I have, I think. Okay, I haven't added a bottom border. Oh, I see. Oh my gosh, that was bottom border. This is gonna work now. 4px solid hashtag DFDFE2 semicolon. Check. 4-pixel solid DFDFE2 DFDFE2 la. 4 pixels solid border bottom. Okay. Border dash bottom. And now, wow, that was a bit of a slog, wasn't it? There we go. We got through it anyway. 18. Okay. And now for step number 18, to be able to navigate within the page, give each anchor element a href corresponding to the ID of the H2 elements. Okay, so a href equals, and the href is going to be the ID of the H2 elements. So where are my H2 elements now? Here they are. Student info is the first one. Student info. The second A is going to be href equals, and it's going to be HTML. Just check the capitals. Yeah, it's all lowercase. HTML questions. Okay. Copy and come down here and paste. Href equals, and here instead of HTML, it's going to be CSS. Let me just make sure that's right. HTML questions, CSS questions. We should be good. Oh my gosh. Your code does not pass. Should give the first A element href of hashtag student info. Oh, so I need to, because I'm linking to the ID, so I need to actually mention that. And there we go. Now they are fine. Okay. Step number 19. Filling out the content of the quiz below student info. Add 3 div elements with a class of info. Then within each div, nest 1 label element and 1 input element. Okay, for student info. Inside student info, we want to have 3 div and class equals info. And then close our div. Copy that. Paste, paste. So we have 3 divs with a class of info. And then inside each div have 1 label element and 1 input element. Okay, so inside the div, so we want it to go here, label, label. Then we want to have an input. And I think input is all fine. So inside each div, we want to have this copy, paste, paste. Okay, check the code. And we have passed that. Now on to our last step for this video, step number 20. It is important to link each input to the corresponding label element. This provides assistive technology users with a visual reference to the input. It's done by giving a label a for attribute, which contains the ID of the input. This section will take students' name, email address, and date of birth. Give the label elements appropriate for attributes and text content, and link the elements to the corresponding label elements. Right. So they're really not holding your hand anymore. And that's fine, because for once, I actually know what we're supposed to do. So we're going to have a name, email address, and date of birth. So label for equals, and the first one is name, okay? And the input ID equals name. And then give the label the text name, right? And then the second one, we are going to go into our label here, and we're going to say label for equals, and we're going to say email, and the input ID equals email. And then inside label, we'll write email. Okay. And then for our last one, label for equals date of birth. Date of birth. Let's call it DOB. Input ID equals DOB. And then for the label, we'll write date of birth. Colon. All right, now, fingers crossed. We did it. We passed step number 20. We're 1/3 of the way through this project. If you're enjoying the series, please hit like and subscribe. We got a little stuck on that one, but we made it through in the end. And any feedback you have for me, please paste it in the comments below. Cheers. Bye-bye.